Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Are you trying to hear this song?
The thing.
I don't know where to begin.
You're a former Viking beat writer.
I am.
I want an explanation.
Yeah.
I want an explanation for this thrill-a-week football team of ours. Should we repeat the stat, or should we sit on that right now?
Repeat the stat.
The San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings are both 12-4.
That's right.
And one of those teams will be the 2 seed in the NFC playoffs.
Right.
One of those will be the 2 seed. The San Francisco 49ers, and I looked it up, this is official, have outscored their opponents by 170 points to be 12-4.
That's right.
The Vikings have been outscored by their opponents by 19 points
And
to
they're
be
12-4.
I have, according to StatMuse, the entire league's point differential for the season of 2022. With 16 games played, it says on this that the 49ers have a point differential at a record of 12-4 of 148 points.
I looked
ahead.
up 170, I thought.
Well, this one says 148, so I don't know. And the Vikings...
I looked it up and counted it.
Okay.
Today. Are you
It's
sure
as
that's...
though-
Are you sure? Does that have the Vikings at 19?
The Minnesota Vikings at negative 19, yes.
It's
Well,
as
I'll have
though
to
they
check it
didn't
again.
show up in Green Bay and 45 people entering the stadium were asked to put on Vikings uniforms and be the team for the day because the Vikings couldn't make it. So they used complete strangers, and they got to pick who they wanted to be. And one guy said, I'll be Kirk Cousins. And another guy said, I'll be Justin Jefferson.
It was Halloween.
It was Halloween.
Yeah.
And they went out and looked like they had been
Now,
assembled.
the odd thing is they block a punt early. They block a second 2 weeks in a row. The same guys blocked a punt. And they're on the 1 yard line and a chance to take a lead. And they drive back to the 2 and kick a field goal. And they didn't, they didn't urinate a drop the rest of the game, as we used to say.
I saw some bad signs.
It's just unfortunate that they got the 2 garbage time touchdowns because it should have been 41-3.
Right.
Really. Should have been.
Should have been 41-0.
Yeah. The return of 41 Donut. Son of 41 Donut, I called it.
You know what bothered me? And it gave me a bad feeling?
Uh-oh.
Justin Jefferson pouting. That's not his
Got a little
nature.
pouting, yeah.
He
hasn't been that way.
He's been a happy kid, and he just he didn't look right.
No, they were. He had the one guy taunting him, and then he was getting.
Guy
he
did
was
the
getting-
gritty on him.
Yeah, he was getting double teamed. The safety was giving him a lot of help. He fell down once on the turf, but you're right. It was.
He just.
It was not the good old Justin. Throw it anywhere near me, I'll catch
and
it.
I kept saying that during the game. Why doesn't he tell Cousins, don't even look for me.
Yeah.
Just throw it as far as you can.
And I'll go catch
it.
Yes, right.
Where was that play?
I don't know where that was.
That play existed in Buffalo.
Sure
well,
did.
one of their problems is that with the injuries that have befallen the offensive line,
They had a center who couldn't center it.
Yeah, Chris Reed, former Mankato Stater, who's not. That's not
he's
his
a tackle.
position. He's a very good
He
tackle.
kept hitting himself in the swimsuit area.
Yes, and he didn't release it in time.
Right.
A couple of kind of
Stuck in the swimsuit
Well,
area.
it matches Joe's theory. They found a guy in the street, said, "You want to play center?"
Yes,
Get in
I'll
there.
be Chris Reed,
Right.
thinking he wouldn't even have to play.
yeah. They
I'm
never
just
did.
the backup.
So
It's the damnedest team I've ever seen in my life.
It is. It's unbelievable.
And there's no way to say they won't succeed. You'd be crazy to say they're one and done in the playoffs. You'd be crazy.
They'll be at home, and
They're going to most likely play the Giants,
Giants,
in the first round at home.
unless the 49ers lose at home to Arizona, which is unlikely.
Right. Well, yeah. Which is very unlikely.
Arizona's 4-12,
because there's a scenario where the Niners can be the 1 seed.
Yeah,
If
Philadelphia
they win
loses.
and Philadelphia loses. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, yeah, and Philadelphia might lose. They got the Giants at home. Now the Giants have nothing to play for.
No, they don't.
So Giants are locked
I
in.
do have an unkind observation.
Go ahead.
I think they can be the real deal with a better quarterback.
Well, I've never thought he was the problem, but
Then
I'm not
why'd
sure
you tweet
he's the
what you
solution.
tweeted yesterday?
Because I was agitating people. Cousin sucks. I just because there's a whole, there's
There's an art to what Patrick does.
That came right after repeating the Brewster quote. Week scored last.
Right.
Bruce. I tweeted
We
out
scored
we
last. I
scored
got
last.
that.
So that was just a
But
little.
where would they
string
be
of-
if it was Burrow or?
Well, yeah, but there's only 5 of those guys, and you
In the
don't have
world.
one of them. This
Yeah.
guy's okay. But he can. I don't think.
You can't see
I
a
don't
blitz.
think the overall quality of his play has been any better than it was last year. You had a couple of 400-yard games with good fourth quarters, but he's throwing more interceptions this year. They told him to take more chances this year, and it's cost him some interceptions. So, but he's they're going to have a decision to make. They're going to get 1 more year out of him probably, but then you got to pay Jefferson. And Jefferson's contract doesn't kick in for a couple of years, but Jefferson's going to make over $25 million.
Right. And they're going to have salary cap problems.
Yes, they are.
They already do have salary cap problems.
Well, Harrison Smith, maybe if he'll take a cut. Eric Kendricks is probably gone. Thielen's gone. There's quite a few guys gone. They're gonna.
I think it's a shame that Thielen would be gone.
It's funny that they're going to be a 12-4 or 13 a 13-4 or 12-5 team. They're going to, maybe win a first-round playoff game, and they're going to have to redo a whole lot of stuff. They're going to have to treat this in a lot of ways like, okay, we got to
What did we call it? We called it a competitive rebuild. Wasn't that the phrase?
competitive rebuild.
Yep.
Yeah, it has been a competitive rebuild, but it is the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
Me too. I can't figure them out. They drive you nuts.
No, I mean, if Zim had been coaching that game yesterday,
Oh,
we
my
would have been
God.
going nuts, right? Damn, he doesn't even get him ready. It's a big game. He doesn't get him ready. And I think we've let them off the hook for somehow getting in a 33-0 hole to the Indianapolis Colts. They no-showed that game.
Right.
And then they come out to start the second half.
Which was very strange.
And have to punt. They were perfectly willing to get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Until the Colts started doing stupid things, and pretty soon it's 33-14, and they're saying,
Well,
they're pretty stupid.
Well,
Maybe
might as
we
well
should
keep going.
Maybe we should keep trying here, and then they won the game. But it's a mystery. It's a mystery that
it's an enigma wrapped up in a Pandora's box or something.
but it's also the great, the reason we go back to sports, and the great thing about it is there is the unexplainable occurs. There's not that
the whole
often.
season's unexplainable.
That's what I'm saying. The unexplainable occurs. This is the unexplainable.
How bad did Philadelphia beat them?
Oh, bloody.
It was at least 2 touchdowns, if
Oh,
not
no,
more
no,
than that.
More than that.
Here, I'll pull it up.
So who beat them?
34-7.
Green
something
Bay.
Like that.
They lost
Philadelphia.
They lost to Detroit.
Dallas and Detroit.
Dallas beat them 40-3.
Right. What did Detroit wasn't that bad of a whomping.
Detroit beat them by 10 or something.
I got it right here. We were edged by the Eagles 24-7.
Is that all it was? They only scored 24.
I only thought it was a couple of scores.
That was in Philly, right?
Yes. Then we lost to the Lions 34-23. And we lost by 24 to the Pack yesterday, and and then by the 37 to the Cowboys.
37.
Now, if, Joe, this is a legitimate stat, if they had maintained that 30-point deficit yesterday. In other words, if they didn't get the second charity touchdown, they would have been the first team to ever make the playoffs in NFL history, having 2 30-point losses on their record.
Really?
Oh, dang it. We should have
How
stuck
many
with
teams?
it.
How many teams have made the playoffs with that kind of point differential?
I don't know, but not probably very
Probably
few.
none.
I know that no team has ever won the Super Bowl with a negative point differential during the season. Now, the Twins did win the World Series in '87 with a negative run differential.
Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a negative 30, although they don't have a winning record.
They got an
This
8-8
year, you
record.
mean.
They
Yeah,
got
this
an
year.
8-8 record.
They're negative 32 in the point
Well, you're
differential.
fine. They're 8-8, aren't they?
Yes.
Well,
I
that's
gotta
not 12-4.
Here's what I got a real issue with, though, with the NFL.
Replay?
No.
Officials?
No. Yes, that too. But the fact that, okay, I can let the winner of a rotten division into the playoffs. I can go for the 4 champs. But there's no way in God's green earth that the Philadelphia Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys should have to go play at Tampa.
Right.
When one of them, they could both end up at 13-4, and they're going to go play a team that's going to finish 8-9 because they're probably going to mail in
remember-
Because they'd be a division winner?
division winner. And the same thing in the other league, Jacksonville and Tennessee. I think the winner is going to be 8-9 or 9-8.
9-8, most
9-8.
likely. Yep.
It gets a home game too. Why do that? Why not just reseed them?
Well, that goes back to the year that Seattle
yeah.
won their
Beat them.
division at 7-9 and beat a 13-3 New Orleans team.
Yes,
because they got to host that playoff game.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was.
You're right. That should be a reseed at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, here is your privilege, right? You get to go to the playoffs by being in a rotten division. That should be enough. You shouldn't get a home game. You should not get a home game. They're trying to keep the sanctity of 4-team divisions. If it's a 7-team division, okay, but it's a 4-team division.
Does the division win guarantee a Vikings home game?
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be home
For
game.
one game.
Well,
Well, for
and
the
then,
first game.
And if there's an upset, if like the 1 or 2 seed loses, then
I'm telling you
then
right
you'll be home
now,
in second
Green
set.
Bay can beat San Francisco with Brock Purdy at quarterback.
The way they
How
looked
can
yesterday,
you be
they
down
could.
on Brock Purdy?
He
Brock
should have
Purdy's the
lost.
story of the year.
He should have lost yesterday to the Raiders with Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, their defense didn't have their usual great game.
No, that's true. But I could see Green Bay. Green Bay is playing really well this last month.
Rogers took a nap in this.
That's
he
how
made
good they've
100
been.
Made 160 yards. Their defense has been good.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, that Jim Leonard, didn't stay on the Badgers staff. They
Yeah.
offered him, and when he in early December, everybody was writing he's going to be the Packers' next defensive coordinator, and now this Joe Barry has become a genius
Right.
because they started rushing the passer and using some blitzes and stuff. They were playing very conservative.
Does Green Bay have to beat Detroit
Yes.
to get in?
Yes.
Yeah,
Does Detroit have a
not only
chance?
has to beat Green Bay, but they need the Seahawks to lose.
Right.
And the Seahawks got the reeling defending champ.
The Rams.
So
And I think
It'd be fun to see Detroit in the playoffs. So
I think they're better. They're as good as Green Bay.
I do too.
But Green Bay is, that's been a pretty amazing comeback by Green Bay because they looked
Didn't they lose
terrible.
4 straight?
Huh?
Didn't they lose 4 straight?
Oh yeah, they were 3-6, right? Weren't they?
they
3-7.
were 4-8, and I think they were also 3-6. Yep, I think you're right.
And now they're 8-8, right?
Well,
It's a funny league.
I wonder how that crowd was last night. But you think they had any warm liquids in them?
Oh, I bet
Although
they
a
did.
lot of Viking fans there, apparently. A lot of Packer fans dumped their tickets, I guess.
Well, they were saying they hosted the Rams. Was that 2 weeks ago? And if you wanted to go, you could get a ticket. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, the biggest fraud of all time is, they've been on the ticket list for 25 years and
Right.
stuff like that. When they had their 20 straight losing seasons, you could. By the way, LSU beating Purdue 35-0.
Oh, boy.
Our Big Ten West champions didn't do too well here. So anyway,
I can't. I don't know what to think.
nothing to think about.
It's the strangest damn thing
cannot
I've
be
ever seen in my
explained.
life.
Cannot be explained.
It can't be. Have you even tried? Should we talk to Bud?
I was thinking of calling Bud.
Do you think Bud has an answer?
I think Bud would. Yeah, you guys have had Bud on, right?
Oh yeah.
You should get Bud on.
Bud, what is this?
Bud, yeah.
What is this?
Bud, even at 95, would have an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
He would say, well, because I'm sure Bud was very familiar with miracle victories,
Yeah.
but not by being behind 33-0. By, he had one game where I think they had 60 yards in offense and beat the Packers, but that was 10-3 or something like that. So 7-3, 10-3, nothing. But I was thinking about calling him, asking him what he thinks of this, because he'll be.
You do know why Viking fans are upset, though.
Why?
The last, I believe, it's 8 or 9 times that the Vikings have had Nance and Romo. They have gotten their asses kicked.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
So that's
this
their
year
fault?
they did the Cowboy game at our place earlier this year, and they got waxed. And I think it was the last previous 6 or whatever times that they've done the
Really?
game.
All games next weekend are on Sunday. There's no Saturday.
No, there's 2
games?
Saturday games.
There is.
Yes.
Yeah, but no Monday game.
No
because
Monday
they
game.
want 'em in
Yep.
case of
I don't
playoffs.
think there's a Saturday game.
I think
She's a
I
good
saw
one
it
tonight, though.
Pat, straighten something else out for me.
Okay.
Isn't it true that there never would be an NFL game on the day of a bowl game? I mean, tonight there's regular Monday Night Football, and you have the bowl game.
All
going
that,
on.
yeah, all
That's
that,
not true.
All that stuff's been
Changed.
changed.
I was trying to explain to the mayor why the Rose Bowl lost its significance.
It's not. It used to be as it was the.
It was it.
It
Well-
was the Indy 500. It was the Kentucky Derby.
Well,
it was.
now you have a Big Ten champion, a Big Ten representative who was the 3rd team in the conference because Ohio State and Michigan both went to the playoff. And then you got Utah, Joe. You got Utah going to the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
Utah can't go to the Rose Bowl.
cannot be in the
I
Rose Bowl.
said-
They're Mormons.
I said, yes. I said, I go to the Rose Bowl. I've been out there 5-6 times. I love the Rose Bowl. I want to see a horse.
you want
I wanna
USC.
I want to see a horse
Yep.
leading the charge
Yep.
out there, and I want to see those spectacular deep maroon unis with the yellow on them and the mountains in the background and the the Southern Cal fight song.
Yep.
I don't want to see Utah.
Utah.
What's a Ute?
What's a
I don't want
Ute?
to see a Ute.
All right, that's a good question.
Okay, you're right. There are 2 games next Saturday. Kansas City at Vegas. Is that meaningful?
Kansas City is trying to get the #1 seed. If Buffalo wins tonight, Buffalo's the #1 seed, but they can't afford a loss, and they'll probably lose tonight. At Cincinnati.
Tennessee at Jacksonville next Saturday night.
That is deciding the prestigious AFC South Championship among 2 8 and
Which
8
I
teams.
believe that division has not 1 but 2 separate ties between interdivision rivals.
Do they?
I think Indy, Houston, each have tied. I thought there was 2 different ties in that conference or in that division.
Also, Tennessee has scored about 7 points a game for 6 weeks, and they're still trying to make the playoffs.
All right, I have your answer. The University of Utah and the Utes University of Utah athletic teams are known as the Utes in honor of the American Indian tribe for which the state of Utah is named.
The Ute tribe.
There has to be a longer name for the Utes, though.
Uto-Aztecian.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they shortened her.
Yep. Just
So
to
it
Utes.
should have been called Uztekian. So the
As
state
Uto-Aztecian. Aztecan.
No game times have been announced for next Sunday. They won't be announced until tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll wait until after they
trying to
see who
figure
wins
out.
tonight.
There's,
Well, they ain't putting Vikings in
fortunately-
Chicago in prime
Fortunately
time.
for us, we'll be noon, won't we?
Well, you won't see a starter for the Vikings at all in that
I
game.
wouldn't bet on it.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't bet on it. He might. Well, he'll play some of them. You got to. You don't have enough
Well,
players.
you lose Jefferson, you might as well just.
No, he won't play. Yeah. Well, of course, Jefferson's trying to Although after yesterday,
I don't think he's got a shot now.
He had a chance.
That's why he was pouting, in my opinion.
You know, he needed 200 yards to be the all-time single season. Now, that would have been done in 17 games compared to 16. But
Did you see the rookie quarterback for the Steelers last night?
I kind of like him.
Boy, is he good.
Kenny Pickett.
He won that in a heartbeat. in the
Although
last
he
second.
violates my rule.
What is
But
it?
He's got the glove on the throwing hand.
Does he really?
Come on here.
Boy, you don't see that many anymore.
Kurt Warner's the one that started this crap.
Plus, he's got the
But
porno mustache, doesn't he? like the pool boy?
The reason they drafted him is he played at Pitt. He's a Pitt Panther. That kid, and they were kind of
Remember, they didn't do that with Marino. That was made. That was pointed out when they passed on Marino in '83.
I kind of like him. He's an athlete, but boy, they didn't. That game, Joe, was like going back to football when it was football.
That's right.
When it was man football.
When people park their cars in the end zone.
Yes. That was snot-nosed football right there, man. A first down was an accomplishment.
You know, as recently as the mid-'70s.
The only thing missing was Murray Wormath punting on third down.
What was with parking your car in the end zone? As recently as the mid to late 70s, there were cars parked in the end zone. A car or two was in the end zone.
At Pittsburgh?
Yeah, and people had to jump over them, and Lynn Swan had to jump over
Yeah, there
one.
was a great Super 70s sports.
Yeah,
I'm trying
Frank
to
parked his goddamn car in the
How'd
end zone
Swan
again.
get hurt? Nah, Frank parked his damn car in the end zone
How
again.
how about the greatest unhappy coincidence ever, though? You're going to honor Franco Harris finally
Isn't that
for
something?
the Immaculate Conception. They hadn't retired his number. They're going to finally do it, and he dies 3 days beforehand.
Hey,
Seemed
did
like
we-
a good guy.
Did we have another quasi-Heidi game yesterday? Vegas and Oakland
They switched off.
went into overtime.
Vegas and San
Or
Francisco.
whatever. That wasn't even close, was it?
No, it's all right.
Vegas. Who now?
The 49ers
And Oakland.
and Vegas.
And Vegas.
They used to be Oakland.
Went into overtime.
Yep.
And the Simpsons were on.
So somebody forgot to flip those.
I don't know. I had to watch it on the NFL channel.
Okay. I did not know that.
I'm embarrassed
But,
at how much football I've watched
I heard
this
a
year.
report. I heard a report on our Timberwolves.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Saturday night. Now this covers a lot of ground, right?
What
But
does?
one of the worst losses in franchise history, which is there's been 1,000 of them, right? Bad ones. But Detroit's the worst team in the league. Detroit's hoping to lose because they want a chance to draft this
French kid.
7-foot Frenchman, and they are ahead, and our boys are ahead of them 30-12. Then they're ahead of them 64-50 at halftime, and before the third quarter's over, they're down 11, and they
hard to
end up
do.
losing to this collection.
That's hard to do.
This collection of crap. And somebody told me Valley Sports North,
Uh-oh.
they went to the post game and they were on for like 8 minutes, and they said, go to our website. You can see the coach's press.
Yeah.
They just hacked it off.
Oh, my God.
We're going to go show some fishing show or something. We're not going to have the usual half hour. This is such a disgusting defeat. We're not gonna
Even
give
we
them-
can't
We're not
sugarcoat it.
going to give them this. We're not going to give them this post game show that we usually give you.
You know, because after a twin 6-1 defeat, you'll get,
Lodge.
man,
Lodge
Buxton hit a nice dog.
Yeah.
You'll get something.
on there. I saw one this year when they got like beat 10-2, and they had somebody answers the bell or something. They're unbelievable. But even they say, okay.
I want to see Everson. Is it Everson or Everson?
Everson.
I want to see his remarks after games, but you got to wait too long, so I give up.
Oh, for the post game?
By the time they get to him, it's too long. I don't want to
And
wait.
you want to start reading. You're
I
done.
got to do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they won Saturday handily,
Yes.
and then they don't play again. They never play. They played it Wednesday now. They got the next game.
Are we back home then? Or are we on the road?
For one game, then go on the road. They never play.
I was over there the other night, and they got beat 4-1.
When are they going to start playing every other night? They're going to have to.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Well, they had the Christmas break, right?
yeah,
No, but
4 days.
All season long, they've had a weird schedule.
Oh.
Kaprizov had a amazing goal the night I was there, though. Did you see that one?
Against the
He
Stars?
He shot it at the goalie.
But here's the good news.
And he knew it
Here's
would
the good
trickle
part
off him.
about the play. He's over there fighting on the boards with his guys and their guys.
Yep.
There's a big mess there. And he has to push his own guys out of the way to get
Right.
the puck. He gets the puck, comes out, and shoots it off the guy's back on purpose.
On purpose, yeah.
He shot it off the guy's back on. God, he's good.
Do you know there's a petition going in Canada to keep Ovechkin out of the country?
Because of his
Because he will
friendship
not
with-
denounce Putin.
Yeah.
Really? I did not know that.
You could
I-
have the
I-
greatest goal scorer in history who's not allowed in Canada.
I was, I got an email on that very thing about nobody who was a fan of Hitler in World War II got to play athletics.
Mm-hmm.
And Ovi, well, Kaprizov hasn't denounced Putin either.
Well-
What do we want these guys to denounce? We can't. They can't denounce him if they got family over
That's
there.
what I was just going to say. What
I mean,
good is that going to
Putin,
do them?
Ovi was a buddy of his.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
God bless you.
Wasn't he a teammate at some point? Because didn't Putin score about 9 goals?
They let him
or-
score 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Who'd stop him?
I think even hockey will win that argument, won't they?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like Ovi to have better friends, but what the hell? That's,
Ovi's an odd duck.
you know who's a smart player?
Who?
Zuccarello.
Yeah, he is.
As soon as he gets the puck, he looks for Kaprizov.
Yeah.
and then he might throw it back to me, and that's why I got 16 goals. So.
A bit of breaking news out of the world of college football. This is according
got
to,
fired?
is it Bruce Feldman, right? Bruce
Yeah,
Feldman.
he's pretty good.
He is saying that Jim Harbaugh is expected to leave Michigan for the NFL if/when he is offered a job this year.
Well, there was some thought the Bears, but the Bears just gave this guy a 4-year contract.
Oh, yeah, they
and they're
won't fire
rebuilding.
him.
So
Rain in Cincinnati tonight.
Oh, boy.
That could be good.
Could be
but it's
freezing
58 degrees.
by the way, it's what's the degree? What's the temperature gonna be?
In Chicago?
No, here tomorrow when we're getting that foot of snow.
I don't know.
You're also going to get some
the
rain
20s.
mixed, though, with that.
Yeah. See, you know what?
You want the high tomorrow?
So we're gonna get a foot, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So here's my deal. I was practicing. I got to show you.
33 tomorrow.
We're not on TV here, are we?
No.
I got to show you how I'm going to shovel tomorrow.
All right.
When we
Here he's
got-
standing up. He
Are
took
you
his
gonna do the
headphones
play-by-
off.
when we
play.
got 8 or 9 inches
Here's Pat.
of wet snow.
Yep.
He's he's scraping the snow off the ground. He's making
3
humming.
shovels full and then
Take a break.
about 20, 25 seconds.
Yep.
I'm not giving the heart attack a chance with that.
Why don't you get a guy? You got a
I
guy.
got a little tiny sidewalk.
You know what he needs? Such.
What?
What was that deal you were telling me and Kenny about before we did the show
Oh, I
today?
saw this neat toy.
This is what Royce needs.
It looks like a riding lawnmower,
Really?
but it has a plow blade on it.
Wow.
Oh, would that be neat?
Would I have to attach it?
Hey,
No, Dad, bring it to your house ready to go.
I'll be back, honey. I am going to go plow.
I'm going to attach the plow to the device.
And I'll be back in 3 weeks. Yeah, you know, I have decided that the greatest part of my life, being at 77 years old, is that I've never lifted anything for money in my life. To make a living,
You've never.
I never had to
No
do
physical labor.
actual physical labor
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I think I baled hay once when I was 16 or 17 or something.
That counts.
Detasseled corn.
I didn't do that.
Detasseled corn. That was about an hour.
Yeah.
And my
You had
buddy
enough
said,
of that.
"Come on, we'll go detassel corn." Bugs
Yep.
and heat.
You didn't like that.
I didn't stay. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's all the work. We used to call it servile work, right?
I guess.
Remember SERV? 'Cause
Yeah.
You couldn't do that on. You weren't supposed to do that on Sundays, right?
I guess.
Yeah. Back
What's
in the day.
detasseling? What did you do?
You rip the
took the top of them off, right? Right? Don't
the
you-
tassel.
Yeah, the machines now do that for you, right?
Oh, I still do it by hand when I get some from the
What do you
store.
grow
From the
corn?
store, yeah, well,
Well,
yeah.
you clean the cob.
yeah.
Yeah, you
the-
Is that
detassel it.
detasseling?
Yes, sir.
You take the skin off it.
Why did we do that with field corn? Because we didn't want the animals.
Yeah, you
eating
didn't
the-
want that mixing in when you grinded it up for feed. I will say this
But all
though.
you took off, you didn't peel it. You just took off the tassel.
If you guys grill your corn, which I do because I love grilled corn on the cob, all you do is you chop it, slice the very top off, and then the little knob at the bottom, and then put it on with the skin on.
With the leaves on?
Yes, and then when it's done, you leave it on there for a couple minutes. When it's done, it just
a lot
comes
of people
right
that
off.
do it.
I
you know
love
what
it that
I've
way.
discovered about corn? If you cook it, if you put a boatload of butter and salt on it, it's fantastic.
Oh,
Stand
man.
the butter.
Oh, God.
Can't
Swimming
stand the butter. No.
I got
Salt only.
we got like a plastic dealy boober that's about this deep, right? It's this long. You can put popcorn in it too, right?
Yeah.
But yes, you fill the bottom of that thing in there with butter and just slop the corn in, and that's dinner.
On the grill? You do it on the grill?
No, after we boil it. We don't do it on the grill.
Oh.
Too complicated.
Did you ever have what's called, probably incorrectly these days, you probably couldn't get away with it, black corn? You ever have black corn?
Well, that's field
I've
corn.
seen it. It's pretty good.
Oh, no, sometimes called Mexican corn.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Mexican.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can
is
call
that
it
good?
Mexican. You can call stuff that comes from Mexico Mexican.
No, but it's grown here.
No,
You go, you get 'em- you can get it here.
you
It's
know,
great big kernels.
Yes, it's good. Huh?
Oh boy!
I've seen it. I don't think. I've
Actually, it's
ever-
more of a dark, almost a blue, than black.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. So,
Really good. But I haven't had it in quite a while.
well, it's probably hard to find. It's hard to find it this time of year.
I think so.
You only got like that.
What game are you watching
You
that's
only got
behind
that
me?
3 weeks.
That is your Cotton Bowl.
Is that in
Tulane.
Dallas?
Tulane. I'm rooting for Tulane because this is their first big bowl game since the late 1930s. I think 39 was the last time they were in an important bowl game. But they're who are they playing?
USC.
USC.
Yep.
The team you wanted to
Yeah, I wanted to see it
in
in
Rose
Rose
Bowl.
Bowl, yeah.
So in the state of Ohio, Joe,
Yeah.
the state of Ohio, today was the very first day where you could, or was it yesterday? Excuse me. Yesterday was the very first day that you could place a legal sports bet in the state of Ohio. Guess who was the first person to place a bet at the Cincinnati Hard Rock Casino
Pete Rose.
on the Reds?
And that was their gimmick.
That
huh?
was their. They did the photo op and everything else,
Okay.
and they had Pete come out and place a bet on the Reds.
It's time to let Pete back in because I was watching a game the other day and they're giving you the odds of like what's going to happen next on your mobile phone. You can dial on your mobile phone and bet what's,
If you can have a sociopathic psycho in Congress who's lied about everything in his life, you got to have Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
Pete back in. Plus, if for no other reason, Pete should be in as the greatest quote man in the history of mankind. I've told you about that. I was there with him for 4 days waiting for the hit. The hit that would break the record. Got there like he had 2 hits to go. And he was managing the team. And he was betting. He had a lot of busy stuff to do.
He was doing a lot of stuff.
But he was
Multitasking.
He was doing 40 minutes before the game for the reporters and 40 minutes after the game, and he never told the same story twice.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
It was the greatest performance of quotes I've ever seen.
Now,
in
walk
my
me.
life.
What would MLB have to change its ban on him, or because with the new voters coming in,
I'm
would he be?
serious. If you can have this guy in Congress,
Yep.
Well,
you can't have Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame?
Here's the trouble. One of these veterans committees will never put him in. Yeah, they would not. Oh, out of bounds. Out of bounds.
He's watching the game.
Oh, it's not a touchdown. By the way, Ohio State got screwed.
Yes, they did.
That was not a timeout.
I couldn't believe it.
That the guy was still talking to him when they ran the play.
Well, both that
And the other guy out of bounds, he was out of bounds.
but the other call in the Michigan game where they called that touchdown on the field.
Why didn't they look at it?
And then they looked at it and said, "Well, I don't know. His rear end looks like it may. Are you?" And you took that off the board, and then they fumbled on the very
Who
next
made
play.
that decision?
That's got to be the head referee. I would
That
assume.
was not a touchdown.
That's not a touchdown.
It was out of
That
bounds.
was a hell of a catch, though.
But no feet came in.
Yeah, but because his right foot hits the pylon. That's part of the end zone.
Okay, Mr. Technical.
Right there. Boom. That's a touchdown, boys.
Yeah, they're screwing my two lanes.
What's their team name?
The wave. The green wave?
The Green Wave. yeah.
Green Wave.
And that is not like a. I looked it up because I thought maybe it was. They used to have an Indian nickname that was deemed inappropriate. That's always been their nickname.
You were mentioning play-by-play. The North
was?
Carolina State play-by-play announcer, Gary
Yeah.
Hahn,
Gary's,
got himself
Gary's
into a little bit of trouble.
Did you
What'd
hear
he
this
do?
one?
So
Play
there
it,
was a
play it
clip.
for him.
He
Play
was
it for
doing the game. He was
Sun Bowl.
doing the highlights of the game, and he had a little casual
He
comment.
was at the Sun Bowl in
right.
El Paso.
One other bowl game involving an ACC team going on. That's the Sun Bowl. And amongst all the illegal aliens down in El Paso, it's UCLA 14 and Pittsburgh 6. That's
What was wrong with
He's
that?
done.
No, you can't say
Done.
that.
I don't think they
He was
watched
setting
him.
the scene.
Yeah, he wasn't at the game. He was just throwing that in.
He was
No,
a-
he set the scene.
It was a scoreboard
believe-
update.
I believe he's done.
The statement. Let's see here.
They are illegal aliens, and they're flooding El Paso.
He has been suspended indefinitely for comments he made while calling the Duke's Mayo Bowl, per the university. Hahn said amongst the illegal aliens in El Paso while giving the score update for the Sun Bowl.
I'll be damned. Yeah, he'll never work again.
That's it. I know what he voted for. One of those rare white guys from the South. Okay, they took it away. Thank
They
you.
called it incomplete.
Yes.
So then you're wrong. Your foot
Well,
right,
touches
I
the
was
pylon.
wrong.
Well, they bent the pylon over,
Yeah.
so when he touched it, it was out of bounds. The pylon was bent over. So, anyway,
That's enough.
that's enough.
That Lincoln Riley needs a raise, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Oh, his right foot's down out of bounds before.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
Happy
Too
New
bad-
Year.
You know what? I want to say this.
Here
Yeah,
we go.
Here we go.
The world was a better place when we didn't have replays. We just let the referee screw up.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm with you completely.
Yes,
it's
that
it's
was-
ruining
fine.
football.
Yeah.
It's the discussion. It's a big discussion.
Taking the talk away.
Yes.
Sometimes you get hit with a whiskey bottle.
You still end up with all the debates anyway. So
Yep.
yeah. No more replay. You think that's going to work?
Nope.
Do you know what TV likes?
Replay.
We'll be back in 7 minutes to tell you whether that was a fumble or not. You
Right.
poor idiots.
Oh, this might depress you guys. So I got two little ones. Well, not so little anymore, but they're playing football with the neighbor kids in the backyard all the time, right? Yesterday, before the Viking game, they were out in the backyard with the neighbor kids. Guess what they did? They stopped to pretend to look at the replay. And I'm not kidding.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
Modern society.
Did they have a little laptop?
Well,
out
he
there?
had he had just a little box or something he got from the garage. I said, "What are you doing, bud?" He goes, "Well, this is how we check our replay." I
Oh,
went,
no.
"Oh God,
That's terrible.
Oh no,
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
All right.
good enough."
That was
Yeah,
fun. Happy New Year to all
Happy
you
New Year.
folks. It's I just feel like 2023 is gonna be a hell. Before the year's over, they're gonna be paying us to put gas in our cars the way it's going. $2.79 the other day.
You're cheating the man.
Yeah, you're cheating. We're good shape, man. We're in good shape. All right, see you. You have heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. trust, and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said, through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns. And while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would like to think. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad that you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Royce is a paid endorser.
I got a buddy who every year has 3 New Year's resolutions. Bob, our old friend Bob, that's who it is. I hate to say it, but he rarely succeeds. And then it hit me. Bob should call the Canopy Group. This is the reason why. Bob wants to read more, and I can't help him with that. Bob wants to lose 20 pounds, and I sure as heck can't help him with that. But I can help him with his 3rd resolution, and that is to save money. How do you do that? By handing this resolution over to the 40 professionals at the Canopy Group. They will help Bob save money on his home and auto insurance and have better coverage. There's 16 companies assure Bob's success, not just this year. They will do this for Bob every year to be sure he has the best coverage at the best price. New clients save an average of $810 annually. Hand your New Year's resolution over to the Canopy Group and be part of the 10% with Bob who actually succeed in accomplishing their New Year's resolutions. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. University of Michigan QB J.J. McCarthy makes bold predictions but doesn't fulfill them, and Ohio State kicker Noah Ruggles misses an opportunity to etch his name in Buckeye lore. Fans love their teams and the players, that is, until they don't. When it comes to finger pointing, you'll find no greater antagonist than the fan. Why? Because it means more to them, or so they believe. As a former player, nothing angers me more than armchair Charlies accusing the teams of overlooking opponents or blaming players for providing bulletin board material. But leading up to the game, the fan is the one talking the most, boasting the most. When the team is winning, it's a lot of we talk. But when the team loses, it turns into they lost. You will never know what those moments feel like because you didn't put in the work to earn those feelings from those moments. That's the great thing about being part of a team. You win as a team, you lose as a team. We cry, we console our brother. We don't point the finger, we go back to work, back to the early morning workouts, the hill sprints, back to the bloody noses and broken bones. Why? Because it really means more to us. Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. From football to basketball to soccer and esports, we've got it all at BetOnline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. And don't forget BetOnline for NHL, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
92% of households that start the year with Peloton are still active a year later.
All because of a fancy bike?
Not just bikes. We also make a rower.
Have you ever tried to row? Too hard.
Not with Form Assist. It actually teaches you how to row. So it doesn't matter if you're a first-time rower or a seasoned pro. Peloton can help you achieve your fitness goals. 92% stick with it. So can you. Try the Peloton Row risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.